Hey, what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder. And today, I wanted to answer a question that I had seen posted on the CoD Discord asking what makes a kingdom great. And specifically, this individual was asking, what makes my kingdom good? How can I tell if my kingdom is good? And I thought this was such a phenomenal question because, honestly, it is a complex question, right? And we're going to get into a couple areas and reasons and factors for why a kingdom can be good or bad in individuals' eyes. And then what are some things that I personally think are consistent across the board that can really define and show a kingdom visually, whether that be externally and or internally, to be good. And to give a shout out, right, the person who asked this question was W Mans on Discord. I have to obviously give a shout out, some credit there for the individual who asked the question. So before we get started and we dive into everything, as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell, and if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description right down below. What makes a kingdom good? If I'm an individual player and I'm starting out in Call of Dragons, any kingdom builder, how do I discern? How do I figure out if my kingdom is good? Well, first off, you have to start by setting appropriate expectations for what you want out of a kingdom as an individual. Because there's differences before you even get into, is a kingdom good or not? For yourself, how do you want to play? Are you looking to just purely develop your account? You don't really care too much about fighting? Are you on the opposite end and you just want to fight to your heart's content? You know, it doesn't matter how quickly or how slow you might progress. You just want to fight. Are you a free-to-play or are you a spender? And then, additionally, do you fall into one of those two categories? Are you somewhere in between where you just want the option to be able to fight, but you're happy to progress and develop your account unimpeded along the way? Do you want to be the strongest player in the kingdom? Do you want to be a part of the strongest alliance? Do you just want to not be attacked? Right? Do you want to be someone who, causes wars? Do you want to, be an upriser? There's obviously quite a few different ways to play for yourself as an individual, but trying to figure that out is the key. And then, once you figure out how you want to play as an individual, then you can look to ask yourself question 2, which is, and more appropriately, right, how is my kingdom? Right? Before you even decide if it's good or bad, what does my kingdom do? And this is where you have to start looking at, and let me explain this because CoD is a little different than some other possible standard kingdom builders that you may have played. Figuring out, well, how is your kingdom operating? Is it unified? Is it not unified? Is your kingdom, do you have, multiple players, multiple alliances that are on the same page? Just because you can be unified, but you can be lightly unified. You might not be truly unified. Everyone, you might say, oh, well, everyone just has an NAP. Like, we just all have a non-aggression pact where no one's going to attack everyone, and it's first to get to whatever behemoths that you get to. Or it could be, we have a non-aggression pact, and we've split up behemoth layers. But that doesn't, to me, that doesn't really mean that you're unified. That just means that you kind of have, it's like mutually assured destruction, right? You're basically against mutually assured, or you have an understanding that if you fight, it is arguably a mutually assured destruction type of scenario. Or that fighting just doesn't really benefit, but you haven't kind of figured out how to work past that stage to really and truly integrate everyone on this belief and this mindset that we're here to work together. And it's about being more than just kind of yes and no men, where it's, oh, well, okay, well, hey, we're just going to do this, and we're just not going to fight each other, and we're just going to grow. Do you agree? Okay, yeah. But then you have to start, then, maybe the next question from this point is, well, how often do you guys talk? How often does your kingdom communicate? Do the leaders meet with each other once a week, once every 2 weeks? Does management meet once every week or once every 2 weeks, right? That's leaders and officers, and potentially contributing members. Do you try to send synchronized mails out to the population, to the kingdom, right? For all of the alliances that are on board, whether it's newsletter, status updates, some type of a state of affair, etc. Do you do something like that? Do you guys do fun internal games? Do you guys do like internal war games? Do you do things like, trying to coordinate and organize PvP? Do you do, things where people have to like find someone, like Where's Waldo type games, right? Or, the Chase the Rabbit games where like someone's running around with T1 and like the first person to catch them win. I mean, just things that will increase morale, they'll increase engagement, they'll increase participation across the board. These are some examples. Do you do things like feedback rounds for your kingdom, right? Do you look to ask everyone, how do they think the kingdom is going right now? What do they really want out of the kingdom? And most of the time, it's really just good to try and get and understand. It's good to try to understand your player base, because you can't address things that you don't know exist, right? If you don't know they exist. And addressing is not the same as just being a Jim Carrey yes man and saying yes, 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 yes all day long. We're going to change this. We're going to change that. Oh, you want this? Cool, we'll add it. Oh, you want this? Okay, cool, we'll add it. No. You don't want to be a yes man, right? There has to be some level of filtering and supervision or oversight. And then you get to the next question, right? Before we even, again, which is once you get an idea on how the kingdom is, bear in mind, I'm just giving you a very high level overview here. But then you have to figure out, based on what do you want as an individual player? 2, how unified or not is your kingdom? 3, what degree and what level are the active alliances working and coordinating with each other? And then 4, how much opportunity is there within your kingdom to do what you would like to do as an individual player? And then 5, and lastly, to circle it all back around, right? Is this kingdom good for you, right? That's really what the question should be. It shouldn't be, is my kingdom good? Or, what makes a kingdom good? Even though, yes, I understand where the question is coming from, but the question really is more about, is the kingdom good for you as a player? Does it fit what you're looking for? And or, if you don't know what you're looking for, do you like being in the kingdom that you're at currently? Right? Even if you don't have an idea on exactly what you want out of a kingdom, do you enjoy being where you are? Do you feel as though it's more than just you logging in every day, saying hi in your alliance chat, doing your dailies, and not really talking to anybody? I would argue, as maybe a last little addition here, is one of the things that I really enjoy about a kingdom is the level of social engagement and social activity that a kingdom does for the players there. Because I personally believe that a kingdom is much more than just, ones and zeros and, hey, this is a player there and a player here and, oh, there's a player over there or over that way. It's about trying to build a community. And that, again, is a broad word that really encompasses quite a bit, but that's really what I feel. And so when I go into a kingdom and I'm looking to build something, community, having a high level of social engagement is enjoyable. That's something I strive to build. And I hope that players enjoy that aspect. For me, when I play these types of games, sure, it's great for me to log in, do my dailies, power up, be good at doing war, hopefully be decently knowledgeable and have some good experience. But beyond that, for me, being able to talk and chat with players, getting in on voice calls, meeting, learning more about individuals, laughing, playing games, trying to get 50, 75, 100, 200 people on a call. That to me is arguably just as enjoyable as playing the game. That's the other half for me. And even though I can give you some examples on, what I get out of kingdoms, and I can give you some criteria on what you should try to look for in a kingdom, and then adding that or layering that on top of what you want out of it, most of the time it is subjective, because it is based on your preferences, your personal preferences. And then, the side part of that is, there's obviously going to be some consistent things that are going to help players and or kingdoms, do a little bit more with what they have. And so, again, it is a lot to talk about, so it is somewhat difficult to try to condense everything into a shortish video, because I could probably talk about this for hours just because there are so many areas. But I hope this at least gives you as an individual a snapshot on how to go about figuring out, are you in a good kingdom, and then, is it a kingdom for you? And hopefully, if something like migration ends up coming out in the game, then that'll just give you even more opportunities, where if you don't like where you're at, then you can always move. With that in mind, I'll pass the question off to you guys as usual. If, what are some things in kingdoms that you don't like, right? Whether it's from CoD or if it's your experiences from other kingdom builders. What are some things that happened in kingdoms that you didn't like, and you decided to leave that kingdom and or lower your activity, your social engagement to just a bare minimum? Because to me, those are great stories. And it's even more impactful for community members that come on and watch this video, and then they can go to the comments section and read those testimonials from you, the players. So if you have any, let me know in the comments down below. That is going to be it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.